This is a video that I said that I'd make many years ago, and I'm finally doing it now. I wanted to do a video about this obscure opening system that I discovered, and it's called the Lemur Gambit. And the way this gambit works is it starts with 1d4, and then after knight f6, we go f3. This is called the pale-face attack, when you play f3 on move 2 like this. And this is signaling an interest in playing e4. So many players with the black pieces will stop that with d5. And we play e4 anyway, sacrificing a pawn. And black takes. And the main line here would normally be to play knight c3. And this becomes a Lemur Gambit when you do that. But we're not doing that. We're actually doing something different. We're taking the pawn. So f takes e4. And this is a move that almost didn't exist at all in databases when I originally started looking at this, which was several years ago at this point. Gosh, when did I even... this was 2021 when I first posted this. So yeah, like databases at the time had almost no entries on this. A couple of people stumbled into this and they didn't really know what to do. It was also a game where I think somehow it started as a Carocon and then it became this some way. But since posting a couple articles on this, I think more people have looked at it a little more. It's gotten a little bit more popular. And I just want to get out in front of the bandwagon and claim something here, because I really don't think that this was ever explored at any level before I kind of stumbled into it. There are a few different moves available to black in this position. Let's go ahead and look at knight takes first. Knight takes, and here there are also a few moves available to white, and all of them are interesting. And the move that makes this the Lemur Gambit is knight c3 here. And the idea is we've taken a Lemur Gambit and we've kind of Staffordized it. This ended up starting as a fever dream. I was looking for move order improvements for the Lemur Gambit. I wanted to see if there was some way of squeezing something else out of this opening and potentially making it a little bit more surprising again. Because everyone and their grandma has seen this opening. It's not really a surprise weapon. There are some other moves to be explored here. There are a lot of less explored pathways, like this, other moves that can be done here that are just not very well studied. And I was being thorough and trying to find potentially any useful move order adjustments to the Gambit. One interesting thing that I ended up finding was this little trick that you can actually play this and it's not a total dumpster fire. You know, black does have a slight advantage, which you would expect from playing in such an absurd fashion. But, you know, normally when I have these fever dreams and look at this, I'll check the engine afterwards, and the engine's like, oh, this is absolute garbage. -2, -4. But minus 0.6 is like, it might be something to investigate more. So I investigated it more. And it seems to be a very interesting ecosystem with some very interesting attacking ideas. The main idea is that you get this really nice piece harmony with everything kind of converging in this big X pattern in the center. Another interesting feature is that this bishop can develop like this, which often helps to put pressure on f7. For instance, if this pawn is on e6 and there's a rook here, that can assist in a kingside attack in a very unexpected way. Another interesting thing is that this rook can come out. For instance, if you have bishop f5, you can play rook b1 here, and this rook is exerting pressure straight away. But even if this is met well, for instance, with queen c8. There is a future where sometimes we end up rook lifting in this silly fashion over to the king side, and this becomes another useful way to develop a piece. So there's just more piece mobility, and that is the name of the game for this gambit. So you get lots of wild sacrifices. So maybe we'll look at a couple of those sacrifices. Let's see if I can pull something up here. Give me just a second. So let's look at one of the defenses here. So this is a very popular defense that you see quite a lot of. Many people default to their normal setup against the Black Mardemer when they're faced with this. And it is a similar looking position. So it makes sense to play in a similar way. But really, I don't think that it is quite so critical to play g6 here. For instance, in this kind of position, very often we get something like this, trying to create tactics on d5. And white can actually just go ahead and barrel down on f7 with the pieces. So it's a very different idea, actually, since there's no blocking knight here. So you could get e6 here. And now we play this engine-looking move, queen g4. And an interesting line that can happen here is many people will take the pawn in this position. Many people take this pawn. And this is a mistake because it actually allows us to put even more pressure on f7. So now f7 is going to collapse, basically. And if black tries to lash out against this, for instance, if you see something like f5 trying to lash out, we have this incredible tactic here. Queen h4, which seems to blunder, right? Because black can play h6, and black is probably thinking that white has to retreat this knight and then lose the queen. But we can actually just sacrifice the queen here. We can actually just sacrifice the queen here. And the attack that we get, this is a fake sacrifice. Basically, we're winning the queen back instantly. So this is check. And the only place the king can go is h8. And from h8, we win the queen back instantly. And this is a winning position. We took the rook in the process. So it's really all over here. You can look at this in more depth, but this is just a brutal position to have to deal with the black pieces. And this is just one of many traps that black has to avoid in this minefield. Another thing that can happen here, instead of taking this pawn, maybe black reacts by trying to swat this knight away instantly. And I know I kind of have the spoilers already showing here. But yeah, you sack in this case. But this is a really interesting case study in how the tactics play out in this kind of gambit, because white's compensation is not easy to find here. This is a very instructive sort of sacrifice. And the reason that this can work on relatively strong players is because I think players up to a certain strength are pretty good at scanning for single piece sacrifices. They're pretty good at seeing compensation for single piece sacrifices. However, what white has here is actually a two-piece sacrifice. You sack the bishop as well. And this is the move, by the way. Like, if I thought about doing the thing where I, like, you know, say, hey, find white's follow-up here, but, you know, it's already kind of spoiled on this analysis, so let's just go ahead and have out with it, eh? The most critical defense, which is taking. Right. And then you come back. And then here. And then here. And this is where it gets really interesting. So white's compensation in this position is absolutely fascinating. for instance, in this position here, what you can actually do with the white pieces is trade. It's actually spectacular. I don't know if it suggests the trade here. It does. So you can trade here. And the point is that black's queen side is in a box. You trade into an endgame where you're down a piece, but there's actually no way for black to successfully untangle this queen side before you get that piece back. So you will be able to come on in and get that piece, or get some other compensation worth the piece. Either way. So this is a winning endgame for white. And this is a good example of the type of compensation that you sometimes get. It's not always going to be a checkmating attack. Sometimes it is this insane endgame where you just have dynamic compensation for a very long time in the endgame. And that can be very difficult for defending players to see when it goes that way. Good luck seeing this with the black pieces. So these are just some examples of the minefield that black has to deal with here. And there are many, many others in this line. And in other lines. So I think I'll probably do a more in-depth video on some of these defenses at some point. And I'll cover the refutation, because I know people want to see that. I'll also cover some related openings. So there are related openings to this, for instance. You can get the Lemur against the Dutch, right? The Flemish Lemur, or the Fleamer, as some would call it. There's also a Trumpowski version. There's a Queen's Gambit version. I like to call it the Queen's Lemur. This one can be good fun. It's in Slav. So you can get this kind of position here in the Slav. The Queen's Lemur. So kind of a similar sort of situation here. And a similar evaluation on it. Obviously this isn't going to be high pedigree chess here, but it's all very interesting. It's an interesting ecosystem with some related tactical motifs between all of these. So I'll go over the rest of it. I'll make more videos over time. This is just an introduction, and I look forward to showing more about this interesting little facet of chess that's been tucked away in the corner all these years. All right, thanks for watching.